Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Two Peas in a Podcast, episode 3. I'm Reagan, and
I'm Jessica.
And like I said, we are Two Peas in a Podcast. And today we are doing the top 10 weirdest crimes that we could find about New York. My crimes, like a lot of the ones that I saw at first, were like murder related, and so I didn't include any of those. Because those wouldn't be weird, those would just be kind of sad. But if this is your first time viewing our podcast on whatever we post this one, go ahead and like and follow if you would want to see more. We already did West Virginia and Ohio, and we also did Florida, and Florida it got pretty crazy. So without further ado, I'll go first. If you guys would just like to follow along for more, there will be at least 5 more after this. The 4th one will be filmed right after this, actually. And, for my first weird crime that I found, it is titled, Gangster Keeps Lion in the Club Basement. Really kind of weird. So, in the 1950s, a gangster called Crazy Joe Gallo kept a lion in the basement of a bar owned and run by Mondo, the mafia midget mascot. Yes, Joe was known for taking his lion on walks through the neighborhood as part of a fairly effective intimidation practice. I'd be pretty intimidated too if I saw that. And he was guilty of plenty other crimes like gambling and extortion and more, but keeping a lion in his friend's basement was the showiest and like not the most illegal, but like the showiest illegal thing he did. So, yeah. That was pretty crazy. The next one I have is New Yorkers riot over dudes wearing seasonally inappropriate headwear. Kind of weird. But in the 1920s, apparently these are all old too. Straw hats were the height of men's summer fashion. Emphasis on summer though. This was a seasonal item. Straw hats were only to be worn in the summer. And after September 15th, it was considered extremely tacky to wear a straw hat. It was very looked down, frowned upon too, but unwillingly to just give fashion offenders a little side-eye, however, some roaring 20s delinquents would snatch the straw hats from men's head and trample them, because why wouldn't they? And outbreaks of hat snatching gangs had sprung up along the East Coast since 1919, but in 1922, roving bands of hooligans terrorizing the streets of New York in a 3-day-long full-on straw hat riot. The Great Riot of 1922. Hundreds of young men roved the streets. I don't know what roved means, but they roved the streets, getting into fights and massacring each other's hats using sticks covered in nails. They were doing the most. And it was crazy. There were several injuries, but no one was killed at least. Just a lot of hats wasted, bloodshed for nothing. My third one is a man was chased into Manhattan traffic by an attacker demanding food. So, like, the audacity of the attacker, am I right? But around 6:20 p.m. on September 18, 2022, so not long ago, not in the 1900s at least, the 23-year-old victim was standing on W and 141st Street near Adam Clayton Powell Jr. Boulevard. So I don't know if you know where that is, but I don't. Well, it's in New York, but suddenly the 6'2", 210-pound suspect got out of a black Nissan Rogue, and the suspect walked directly to the man on the phone. Well, there was a man on the phone standing on the street, by the way. And the black Rogue guy started an argument with the poor guy just on his phone. And the black Rogue guy, well, Nissan Rogue, not his skin color. But I don't know what he looked like. But he walked directly to the man on the phone and started an argument asking where his food was. The victim was confused and walked away because what is he talking about? You know what I mean? And as he walked away, the suspect attacked him and punched him in the head, and the 23-year-old got to his feet, the victim, and attempted to flee the scene, because what else could you do in that situation? And the mugger then pursued him down the sidewalk. Eventually, the victim tripped, fell, and rolled right in front of an SUV oncoming in traffic. But luckily, the driver stopped in time, and the victim suffered only superficial injuries. The victim dropped his bag and cell phone, which the mugger did unfortunately pick up. The victim managed to retrieve the bag before the mugger got back into the Nissan Rogue and drove off. Police are still looking for the crazed Nissan Rogue guy. The next one I have is burglar leaves valuables, but he takes gray poupon, which apparently that's just a really nice mustard. So, a weird name. But a Clinton Avenue household found that they had been robbed, but their valuables were all in place, thankfully. Instead of taking TVs or jewelry, the burglars had mostly stolen relatively high-end snacks, like canned salmon, balsamic vinegar, and 4 jars of this nice mustard, and among other items, but those were like the ones that were notable. And I guess the other household items were just not deemed important to the burglars. They just had to have
mustard.
Yeah, they just had to have it. And my last one is guy plays weekend at Bernie's with friend's corpse for cash. This one is kind of morbid, and I'm not sure what weekend at Bernie's means, but I'm assuming it has to relate to this story. But there's so many things that are just very not cool to do with your friend's recently deceased corpse. But like pretty much anything other than calling the coroner is unacceptable. Why would you want to keep that? But instead, a couple of Manhattanites decided it would be a better idea to wheel their dead friend through the streets of Hell's Kitchen in a red office chair. So they did this so they could cash his $355 Social Security check. I don't think that was worth it. Needless to say, this plan was not as fruitful as they hoped, and they most definitely got charged with something. I don't know what the charge would be for wheeling your dead friend around, but it was more than a misdemeanor. But those were not in order of weirdness at all. Those were just 5 that I found and read off. So what did you think?
I thought the one with the man stealing the mustard was the weirdest one out of all of them.
I thought, what did I think? I thought that, well, obviously the guys that would just go around and just attack people, well, not attack people, but attack their hats, I thought that was pretty weird. But I also thought it was weird that a guy just wanted to get out of a car and attack someone for food that didn't belong to him. But hey, who knows? But on to yours.
One of the weird crimes is that a man named Salvatore La Rosa robbed the owners of a restaurant named Brothers Pizzeria, located in Staten Island. The man pulled out a gun and threatened the owners to hand him a heavy-looking bag. After he got the bag, he left and later found out that the bag had pizza dough instead of cash in it. So he stole a big bag of pizza dough.
He took the wrong dough.
Yeah.
I saw that one.
A 500-pound tiger was discovered in a public housing complex. In 2003, a man named Anthony Yates decided he wanted an animal to live with him in the apartment. Instead of a normal animal like people have as pets, he decided to get a baby tiger. He named the tiger Ming, and then when the tiger was full grown, he decided to get a companion for the tiger. And the companion was a 7-foot alligator that he also brought into his apartment. And the man was eventually caught after he came between Ming and a rescued house cat when they got into a fight.
Not the fight between the actual tiger and the poor house cat.
And then another one I have is in 2013, there were 3 guys. They were all in the age range from 19 to 20 years old. They were so excited for Grand Theft Auto to come out, they pretended to be cops so they could cut in line at GameStop. Later, they then decided they wanted to act as though they were playing the game when they were driving, and then eventually got caught and then charged with criminal impersonation. And then in 2014 in Brooklyn, New York, a mailman named Joseph Brucato got caught for hoarding 2,500 pounds worth of mail. He kept the mail in his apartment fire trap for about 10 years. So that's a lot of mail. It took 5 years and 5 guys to, not 5 years, 5 hours, and 5 guys to take all the mail out of the fire trap. And it's sad, but he said he told police that he hoarded the stuff because of depression and alcoholism. But out of the random things to hoard, I find it kind of funny that it was mail of all things.
And I'm all for mental health awareness, but how did depression and alcoholism cause you to steal mail over 10 years and just hide it? I don't understand. I feel like depression has led me to do many things, but not steal mail for 10 years. Also, I thought like the tiger was enough, but the alligator also kind of just was the cherry on top for pets to just be hidden in an apartment complex. Unusual pets to be hidden there. But that is kind of the best duo.
And this one has got to be my favorite one. It's a kid got arrested for emoji overuse. In Brunswick, a 17-year-old boy posted 2 gun emojis next to a cop emoji on Facebook. You know, normally people don't really think much about that, but somebody saw it on the boy's page and told the police, and they thought their safety and public safety was in danger.
People are just dumb. But that one was, like, which one did you think was, like, the weirdest or the best one out of those?
The funniest was the emoji overuse kid.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Grand Theft Auto one was kind of weird.
Yeah, it's the fact that they got away at first, but then had to resort to speeding, and then they got caught.
Yeah.
I think my favorite one is the alligator and the tiger in the apartment complex, but I also think the emoji one was just like, really? People are just crazy these days. They're stuck online. Those facts were actually pretty weird and crazy. Comment down below if you agree. Wait, is there anything else you'd like to say?
Nope.
Well, that just concludes it, folks. So this has been the 3rd episode of 2 Peas in a Podcast. And if this was entertaining at all or interesting, and if you want to see more, just go ahead and follow or like it. Why not? And next week, well, in about 5 minutes, you will see the video. I'm doing 5 Texas facts, and
I'm doing 5 Kentucky facts.
And they're even weirder than this one. I don't know what can top the alligator and the tiger inside the apartment, but they go absolutely insane. So I would check that out if I were you. And yeah, if you enjoyed this and want to see more, go ahead and stick along with us for the next 5 episodes. Anything else?
No.
See you guys later.
See ya.
Okay, everyone. This is more of a behind the scenes look. You don't really get to see much of what goes on back here, but I just wanted to let everyone know that if there are any weird facts that we didn't cover and you know about that is happening right now, did happen in New York, comment down below right here. And just comment that down below and tune in next time.